This is the Lourdes Chris Show.
This gorgeous, breathtaking breath of fresh air. Honestly, sometimes when I look at my wife, I have to remember I have to breathe. You know what I mean? Like she just takes it away. Takes it away from me. She's my partner in all things. She's my co-host on this show. She's my co-writer, my co-director, my co-producer, my co-captain, my co-everything in life. She's brilliant in all ways, shapes, and forms. Literally, everybody that knows her thinks she's the most amazing woman they've ever met, and they're absolutely right. And I'm fortunate to have her as my wife, and I am more excited than a gold miner who finds a nugget.
Ooh, I'd probably be just excited.
I think you're my nugget.
Aw, babe.
Nugget.
Anyway, this is my husband, and you see how much I love him because of what he does. It's like, this is every day. This is all the time, and I love it. Thank you for being that. And my co-host and the most amazing thing, actually, well, yeah, you're not the most amazing thing in my life, but you're not a thing, so
well, I mean,
person.
I think I'm probably tied with the kids, the family as a whole.
As a whole. Yeah. But I think it's just, I think like because you're like my other half.
It's true, it's true.
Yeah.
Where one is, the other one is.
That's right.
Where there's freak, there's frack.
Okay. Why are you so excited more than the person with the nugget?
Well, okay, so let me explain why I'm more excited than a gold miner that discovers a nugget. I am more excited than a gold miner that discovers a nugget because today we're going to be talking about resolutions, which is kind of it is an exciting conversation, guys. Don't roll your eyes.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And it's not just, and I think you can do, even though it's the beginning of the year, you can do a resolution any time of the year.
Yeah, no, 100%. But before we unpack the resolution stuff, I just want to remind people that you can go to the LourdesandChrisShow.com and follow us on there and actually see all of our previous episodes. That's where this will be as well. We're on Rumble, YouTube as well. But if you just go to the Lourdes and Chris Show, we're all right there. So why wouldn't you do that? Yep. I just wanted to unpack that real quick, let everybody know that that's where you're going to find us, Lourdes and myself, Chris, on Lourdes and Chris Show.
Yep. And if you go to Rumble, just in case something weird happens to the website, not that it will, but you never know. That's where all the episodes are, where it's not been removed because YouTube or Facebook didn't want it on there. So
100%.
Yeah.
So we decided we wanted to discuss resolutions because look, hey guys, how are your resolutions? Just ask yourself. I mean, we're already 10 days in the month now, 9 days, 10 days.
I don't know.
We're more than a week.
Well, not just that, and even when the episode comes and airs, right? It's
more like 12. Or 13.
So the point is that. A lot of times we get started on the first day and we're just like gung-ho, and then things kind of subside. Yeah,
so we made resolutions. I'll share with you some of my resolutions. I'll share with you all some of my resolutions. The first resolution I made was that this show is going to just skyrocket, and we're going to reach a much wider audience because we're all about changing the conversation when it comes to health, with mind, body, and spirit, and that comes to even practical conversations like resolutions. My other resolution was I'm going to write 2 screenplays this year instead of just the one TV show that we wrote last year. And then I want to get my short story collection started. So those are my resolutions.
I like that.
Now ask me how specific I was with all of them and all that stuff.
How specific were you?
Not enough. That's what I'm saying. That's part of what we're talking about tonight.
Well, and that's the thing, because you can.
Well, no, hold on. Resolution.
Oh, yeah.
She has to lose weight.
No, gosh, no, I disintegrate.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of my resolutions was to really organize myself in everything I do. I wanted to, because, we are trying to make a change in people's lives to every degree we can in mind, body, and spirit. So one of my things was I wanted to put together something that I can create where people can, do like 3 sessions with me. And then I wanted to make sure that it was like where they can set and tell me like the days and times so that we can set it up so I can see them. And the 3 sessions are literally guided to, to guide them in the right directions and stuff, and any information they need, and kind of like really get them inspired, along with 70+ page of an ebook with recipes and stuff. So I thought, well, the only way to do those things is I had to be very organized. And so that was the first thing, is to do that. And I can say I've been pretty good at that so far.
No, in fact, also, I think we both agreed that a joint resolution was to stop looking at like the housekeeping stuff as a chore, as something that we have to take off, and more like a ceremony. Just to keep the good energy going and stuff. And I think that's helped us immensely.
I totally agree. I think there's something to that. When you think about it, and if we're made in God's image, and He created everything, whether it's a thought or however, because it's not like He took a nail and hammer and started creating, right? And we're in His image, and the fact that it tells us that we can do the same, right? Even if you have faith small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So not that I want to move a mountain, but I'm just thinking, well, then that means that even what we're doing, when we're cleaning or whatever, we're writing or whatever we're doing, we need to be in the space like a ceremony, enjoying every moment of it, so that we're having that energy that's really feeding that thing we're doing and having trust that it's happening.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then we both had the resolution to be even more healthy this year. So I know that's definitely
Yes.
um
We're juicing more.
or juicing more. Yep. We're gonna get into full blown juicing every day here. That's the goal.
Instead of once a week.
But that's not, yeah, exactly. But we did set up a structure. And
Yes.
we're gonna get into it in just a second. Now, I know like 2 days after the New Year's, a few friends of mine on Facebook, and it's funny, it's a knee slapper. They said, well, I'm already done with my resolution. 2024 is gonna be my year. And you go, it's so funny. But man, that can't be right.
Well, no, I mean, they make a joke, and the reason you can make a joke like that and it can be funny is because that's pretty much what occurs. Is people start off and then within a few days they're done with it. Or they're going to do it again. They're going to try again the following week and the following week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then I have other friends, coworkers actually,
Yes.
that made no resolutions, because I said, hey, so what's your resolution? And they go, oh, no, I don't do that. And you go, oh. So look, guys, if you haven't made resolutions, it's not too late. You can do it at any time. It doesn't have to be New Year's resolutions. The thing about a resolution that I think people approach it wrong if they think to themselves, oh, well, screwed up already. All right, next year's my year. Or if they think to themselves, no, I just don't do resolutions. I just think that they're approaching it wrong. What a resolution really is it's an honest look at yourself, which we need to do.
From time to time. It's like you may want to do it once a week or once a month or every 3 months, but you want to kind of look at yourself of what you want to do, what you want to achieve, and are you, what are the steps have you taken, and if you've taken any steps.
Definitely. And I think that's the first step is you're being honest with yourself about where you are. Let me look at your resolutions. I think we looked at some statistics, and I want to say that was overwhelmingly people have a weight loss resolution. The ones that do make resolutions say they want to lose weight. Others say they just want to eat healthier. Others say they want to spend more time with their family. Look, these are all, what that is if you break it down, you saying I want to lose weight says you acknowledge that you're overweight. You saying that you want to eat more healthy says that you acknowledge you're not eating healthy.
Or that you're not as healthy
or as healthy as you'd like to be. Sure, because we're going to get healthier still. If you say I want to spend more time with your family, that's an honest look at yourselves, and you realize I don't spend enough time with my family.
Right.
And that's actually very empowering when you can honestly and earnestly look at yourself like that and look at that as I'm going to change that.
Oh, no, and I totally agree. Because, I mean, even when I'm looking at things now, I mean, I got to say, this is probably going to be my best year.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because every year prior, I really didn't do a resolution. And if I did, I didn't really stick to it.
Sure.
And I think it's because I didn't have a structure set in place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And this time I do.
Yeah, that's huge. So actually, the thing about setting a resolution too is you and I are big believers in the law of attraction.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and so when you create an affirmation like that, when you change your mind when it comes to something like that, you are in the mode of law of attraction at that point. You are moving the universe to realign to your new perspective on yourself. And it's a powerful tool if you make a resolution. And
and I want to say, just in that note, when I think of the word, the universe, I think of it as that space of nothingness.
Sure.
And it's got all this balled up energy waiting to be created. And I think that's the way God set it up.
I was just going to say,
and that's why we're made in his image. And he's given us these opportunities, these tools to really hone that the way we're feeling and being is what we're going to keep attracting. So if we're being in the mind of success, if we're being in the mind of organization, and then we're going to end up attracting and being that way.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think my next point was actually that resolutions are actually in line with God.
Absolutely.
And we're given the 10 Commandments. We're given these ways of living life, and it's again one of those things.
It's a loving way of being.
And it's a loving way of being. And it's one of those things where where, yeah, I think God is all about resolutions. God is all about you improving. He created everything in the universe to where it's either growing or it's dying.
Yep.
There's no other direction it can go. It can't be stagnant.
And it's up to you.
Yeah.
It really is up to you.
Yeah.
You can go, oh, I don't believe in that. So just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you're not now affecting because of your beliefs about how you feel about things. Just look around yourself and think about how you're living.
Yeah.
Are you happy with it? And how's your attitude been? Does it match the way your life is?
And on another note, I'm a big fan of Zig Ziglar. You know this. I listen to Zig Ziglar or John. I can't say his name. I'm a fan of Zig Ziglar. I can't say his name for some reason, but I listen to him just about every day. And one of the things that he says is, and it always struck me as profound, was that the people that are about self-improvement, the people who are about being better than they were yesterday, they're the ones that are making leaps and bounds, are making success.
Yes.
I think they did a study, and on average, they make $4,000 more a month than the people who are kind of like, I punch a clock, I go home, I lounge,
And no matter what I do, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
It's like, well, if you say that and you believe that and you feel that, why would something change? It's really up to you.
Yeah, and what Zig said, because we're close friends, I could just call him Zig. What Zig says is like, even if you were to devote 10 minutes a day to self-improvement, if you just even if that's all you did, you're still momentum, you're building. And that's what I'm talking about, attraction, and that's what I'm talking about, that aspect of it. So why did they fail? I mean, why do resolutions fail?
Well, I think, in reality, I think it fails, first of all, because you didn't have a structure.
Right.
You just kind of winged it.
Yeah.
And I know I've done that and, didn't do so well. But I think it's that we don't put a structure. We don't really feel like, and I think many times we give ourselves too many things to do.
No, that's definitely one of the things I found too when we were doing some research on this. But I know for me personally, in the past, the reason why my resolutions have failed was because I didn't make it as important as it needed to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we went, we met a gal, you and I both did. When we took that course. And she said that she had to get to a point with, I forgot what it was her goal was, but her goal was she had to get in her mind so severe with that if she didn't do that goal, if she didn't do that thing that she set forth, it was just as bad as punching a baby in the face. And I know that's an extreme example, but
But I mean, it helped her.
But in her mind, she said, if I don't do this, it's to that level. It's that horrific.
Yep. But you see what I'm saying? She gave herself something, a tool that would get her to do the next thing and not just stop.
Yeah. So think of the most disturbing thing you can think of. And if you're like, oh, that's just awful. If that person did that, that would be awful. If I don't follow through with my plan, if I don't do this daily thing, like say your resolution is to read more business books. I don't know, maybe it is, I don't know. If I don't read every day, then it's just as bad as I don't know, kicking an elderly person, and if you can get your mind to realize it's just as bad as that, you're not gonna give up on that. You're gonna
or you just put it as, I'm going to relate it to that.
Sure.
So that because people may say that'd be worse. But if you're relating it to that and you're making it like that is me doing that.
Yeah.
And just using that as a tool, you can really achieve a lot. I mean, I think of like so many moons ago, when the girls were really little, there was this acting gig that I went to go audition for. And I always had a habit, and you know this, that sometimes I'm just like, I want to do it. I really do. But then when I get there, I'm like, do I?
She called me from set once.
Yeah. And it's just, and then it's like, I don't know if I want to really do this. Maybe even though on a normal day, I love doing this. Yeah. I love performing. Yeah. I love being in front of the camera. I like to entertain people.
No, to your point, it wasn't all the time, but every now and then.
There was one, it's just once in a while, right? It was just like this thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. And I was on my way and that happened. And I thought, you know what? I want to do it because me doing this job is going to get the money that I need to take care of those two little girls. Mm-hmm. And my daughters need that. Yeah. And so the moment I used that tool, I was like, wholehearted, I'm going in there, and I did it, and then I landed it. But the thing was, that was my way to just do it. I mean, obviously another time was Like
No,
it's-
you were literally on set, and you're just like,
I was-
"Yeah,
I mean, I mean, like the
but
job.
yeah, to be fair, I think part of the problem was I think it was inclement weather, and you realized that you'd be outside, and you're just like, do I even need to do this?
Well,
And
it
it's
was,
just,
well, it was super hot that
yeah,
day.
that's what I'm saying. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It was super hot that day. It was an outdoor shoot, and it was just like, do I really need to do
I want to
this?
do all this,
Really-
be uncomfortable.
yeah. You know, they're like, yeah, get in there, do it, take care of it. You know,
Yeah, and it's not like I was going there to audition.
no,
That was one of the auditions that I was excited to go, and I did the audition and I landed the job. And then when I went to go do the job, I'm like, I really want. And so, and I called you, and I'm just like, I
you know,
really
I
wanna
got to
do
be honest
this.
with you. That's you're unpacking some stuff from decades ago, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
It's those little
You
things.
got, she hasn't had that, you know, in you worked through it, but you haven't
Oh, yeah,
had
I did
that
work through it. Yeah, yeah.
you haven't
Now
had
it's like,
that
give me
for
the job, man.
decades. Yeah, you haven't had that for a long time.
But I think that's what it was. It's like I had to do something to, I used a tool
Yes, you did.
in order to get myself to do the thing that I knew deep inside I did want to do.
Yeah, for sure. So some of the other things that we when we did the research for resolutions, some of the reasons why they fail is it's too vague. So what I mean by that is a lot of people, very popular, I want to lose weight this year. How much?
Yeah.
What's your timetable? How quickly do you want to lose it?
How many do you want to lose within a month?
Mhm.
And
Oh, it's a good question. Yeah, it's a good point.
because you may say at least 5 pounds or 10 pounds in a month or whatever that is, but you have to be specific and then work on that. And you may say 5 pounds and then you lose 10. You're like, and that's like a cheer on because you did more than you expected, but it kind of gets you to get to the next level. So yeah.
Yeah, and then another one that we found that people would kind of not see through is if it was somebody else's desire for you. So,
Yep.
And that's when I read that, I thought, that's true. There have been outside influences before that really want you to fill in the blank.
Achieve that, do this.
Yeah.
You're great for this.
Joe Coy, the comedian, he always used to joke that when he told his mother that he was going to be a stand-up comic for a profession, she would tell him, no, you need to be a nurse. And can you imagine what a different world it would be right now if he set a resolution to be a nurse instead of a stand-up comic? I mean,
well, because then he'd be fulfilling her desire and dream, not his.
and how easy would that be to let go, right? I mean, how easy is it to let go of a resolution if you're just like, nah, it's not really for me. It's for my mom. It's for my wife. It's for you. Gotta want that thing that you're saying you want to change in your life. You gotta want it. And then you've mentioned it a few times. Plan of action is so crucial.
It really is critical, and I think that's actually the first step.
I agree.
Well, it's probably what you want.
Yeah, your desire.
And then the plan of action of what you're going to do to take it.
Yep.
And that's, could be, every day for 5 minutes, I'm going to do this or whatever that thing is. I'm going to research to find this out or read books upon that, whatever that's going to take. Yeah.
Right. And then you also said the other one too, the reason why people would fail in resolutions is if they do something where it's just really, really difficult. Like they say, we saw the example of the 75 hard.
Oh, right.
And some of you know what that is, and it's pretty cool actually. It's for the next 75 days you're committed to drinking a gallon of water a day.
Yeah. Which I personally think it depends on the person.
It does.
Because through what I've learned, you're supposed to be drinking half your body's weight in ounces. So if you're 100 pounds, in a day you should have drinking 50 ounces.
Can you imagine?
You don't want to be 100 pounds and you're drinking a gallon of water. So
can you imagine? Too much. You have a sister who's pint sized. I'm not gonna call her by name.
Itty bitty.
Yeah, she's small. If she drank a gallon of water, I don't know where it would go.
No, she doesn't have to. No, I mean she would literally just be drinking the whole time because she's so itty bitty.
Yeah, sure.
So just to get that much,
so just may as well sit on the toilet and just keep drinking.
And that's the point is you want to again. When someone would say a gallon of water, or you got to go at your weight. So
it's true. You're right. There are formulas out there. You should look them up. Formulas out there for how much water you should be doing. And in fact, there are formulas for how much water you should be drinking should you want to lose weight as well. Those are
even drinking, like a bottle of water before you eat. 15 minutes to 30 minutes before you eat. If you drink a glass of water, you'll notice that you don't eat as much.
Right.
You're losing more weight because of it, and that's only because even when you're hungry. The feeling of hunger we've learned is that it's the same thing as if you need water. It doesn't necessarily mean food.
Yeah.
When you're thirsty, you're at the point of dehydration. But in general, that's why sometimes if you drink water before eating, you know, you don't get as.
No,
you get
it's
full
a,
easy.
and that's actually a good tip,
Yeah.
and I think that's part of your consultation. You say that to
Yeah.
people. You get. But the other parts of the 75 hard are workout twice a day, and 45 minutes minimum for the workout. One has to be outside. Read self-help books. Anyways, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
And look, the guy who created it said he acknowledges it's called 75 hard for a reason. It's not an easy task. And you know, I was just explaining to Lourdes, we were talking about it, and I thought, you know, if I already worked out every day, you know, maybe I can go, yeah, I could add an extra workout at the end of the day. You know, I could do that. If I was already drinking a ton of water every day, maybe I could just get up to a gallon. You know, it just that makes sense for somebody.
If it's not the case.
Right. But if you're fresh into this and you're just not working out, and that's just, you're setting up for a hard time.
Well, not just a hard time, you're setting yourself up to failure because, you know, most people can't do that. And that's the reason why it's called
somebody watching the show right now is gonna be like, oh yeah, and they'll do the 75 hard and they'll show us, prove us wrong.
No, but that's not the point. You did.
Yeah.
But the majority aren't going to be able to.
Right.
And that's why if you want to set yourself for success, you have to do something doable that you know and I don't mean doable like something easy, because if it's something you would have done anyway, that's really not a resolution, because you're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
We're talking about
I'll tie my shoes every day.
If you're trying to achieve something in your life, whether it's, you know, in your career or a relationship or something, you have to do something differently. That you know is working towards that. You can't do the same exact thing you've been doing for decades or for days or weeks or months and not, you know, go, I'm going to keep doing that. It's like, well, it didn't work for you the past years. Why would it work now? So it is doing something different to get to that goal.
Well, what we found that if it's measurable, if it's something that you can actually assign a number to somehow, like say, we have some self-help books. You know, Lourdes and I can make the resolution that we're going to read a chapter a day. That's measurable. That's something that you can measure.
5 pages or however you want to do it.
And specificity, damn it. Specificity.
Like being specific?
Yes, being specific is part of it, but there's an actual word that's like specificity. Nope.
Or just say specificity or something.
That's what I was trying to say, was specificity. Anyways, be specific with your goal.
Almost like Pacific. All right.
Hey, what is with that? What is that?
That P and that
P and the C. It gets me every time.
Funny.
Be specific with your goal. Make it measurable, and then achievable. And then the other thing that a lot of people miss out on is the timeline. Is to create a timeline.
You do want to create a timeline because, you know, if you don't get to the point where, like, if you're you want to work out. That's always been my issue is the workout. There's times where I'll go like a whole month working out, and all I have to do is miss a day or two.
That's right.
And then I'm done. I don't do it again.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if I worked out the whole month.
Yeah.
And I would do it. I mean, there was a few times where I worked out every single day for a month, and something came up, or I had to go somewhere.
No, it's funny. It's funny you should bring that up, because I was going to mention that a good friend of yours, she's a model and a flight attendant, and like she's a fitness model, a flight attendant, and an actress and all that.
She's gorgeous.
And she's gorgeous, right?
Yes.
And so she works out daily, like that's her thing.
Yeah.
And then she found out you were working out every day, and she was high-fiving you, and you guys were getting along. And then you saw her again like a couple months later.
And I said, I dropped the ball. She goes, pick that ball back up.
I love that. I love what she said. Just pick that ball back up. Yeah. And that's the other thing too, that we're kind of jumping around here, but that was one of the points to the resolutions that we're going to kind of say at the end of this is like, look, if you've made a resolution and you've already gotten off track, get back on track. Just
pick that ball back up.
Pick that ball back up. Just get back to it. You made a resolution for a reason, and that's why we're jumping here. So we do that. So the other thing is make it small steps.
Yes.
So what I mean to say is that you can't. If I could probably drink a gallon of water on the right build or something like that, I don't think I could drink a gallon of water tomorrow. I might
drink a gallon of water.
You know what I mean? I might get a half a gallon in, and then maybe as I build up to it, I can get there. So small
but you do want to get water in your system daily. Like just do it. I mean, just in general, that doesn't have to be a resolution. That's just something you should do health wise. But
well, if you don't drink water every day, make it your resolution, because really you should be doing that.
It should be. It's really, spring water. I know people go, well, I think you should do, this type or that type. And back in the day, from the beginning of time, you dug deep, you hit spring water.
Yep.
That's the water you drink.
Well,
And
and then
you
our
don't
good
want
friend,
things that's purified, it took minerals out of it. You don't want to take, was it the, because I know some people that do drink distilled, it's,
your brother does it.
yeah. But he only
He
drinks,
does it in the morning.
yeah, but he mostly drinks water. But he will drink like a half a cup or a cup of distilled. But he doesn't, and I think that's just a process of detoxing and stuff like that. But in general, to saturate the cells, you need spring water.
Yep.
Not purified, not this and that, just straight.
Well, and then our friend Paul Bertero, he's the hydrogen water guy. We had him on our show. So if you go to the LourdesChris Show.com, you look at Paul Bertero's episode. He's the water guy. I mean,
and he talks about the hydrogen water.
Yeah, so you can get that.
So we
actually
better for you. Yeah, well, we actually use the spring water into the hydrogen.
That's right. That's how we roll. And then the other thing that you need to do is check in with yourself.
Yes.
Did you do it today? Just check in. Be honest. Be your own advocate on that.
And what can you do if you didn't do it that morning or that afternoon? Can you do something at that moment that you remember?
Right.
And do and just
one
little small step towards it.
Yeah, because we realized hope takes practice. The law of attraction takes practice. Yeah. Changing your mind from a negative perspective to a positive perspective takes practice. So there's nothing wrong with dropping a ball. It just takes practice and check in with yourself. Where am I today with this? And get back on track. And then the other thing that we saw that I think we know this to be true is to become partners with anybody that's willing to listen to you.
Friends,
your
people.
family, enroll people in what you're doing. Help them, help you keep accountable for it.
Which is really important because a lot of times when you have somebody rooting for you to achieve that, I mean, it really, there is something to that it does inspire you to keep going.
So when I first met Lourdes, so long ago now, we were so young. Anyways, I was a smoker. Just to give you an idea how far I've come with my own personal health journey. Now, Lourdes was my support in getting me to quit, but she did it in a very Lourdes way.
In a very Lourdes way, I did.
Yeah. So if you might not know it because you're not a smoker, but when I was a smoker, you'd get these offers in the mail and they'd be like, hey, you get a free pack of cigarettes and blah blah blah. And so
you collect things off the packs or whatever. Yeah.
So I was going for that. I was going to get my free carton of cigarettes or whatever it was, and then Lourdes read a disclaimer on the advertisement for it.
Yeah, and I'm going, wait, this has carbon monoxide in it. I mean, I knew smoking wasn't good for you because I wasn't dumb. But to the extent of what I read, it was like it finally it just hit me. Like it was in my face. I'm looking at it. It's in writing. So I call him and I'm like, he's at his job. I said, hey, did you know that cigarettes has carbon dioxide in it? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, and you still smoke? It's like, yeah. I said, well, then you need to stop. He goes, oh, you met me as a smoker, blah. And I said, look.
Boy, I stood my ground.
Oh, yeah. So then I stood mine. I was like, I didn't marry somebody so that they die. I mean, we all die, but you're like doing something specifically that will kill you.
Now, just to get people behind the curtain, that was like we'd been married maybe 5 months at that time. It was it was only a few months after getting married. That was a few decades ago. But so he's like, well, you met me, and I'm like, I don't care. I said, either you stop or it's done. I'm not staying with someone who doesn't care what they're doing to themselves and how it's going to affect the family. And so he was all steamed and we hung up on each other. Yep.
And I'd say like 5 minutes later, you called.
Yes, I did.
Called back. Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And you said,
well, I said I smoked my last cigarette. I'll never smoke a cigarette again. And the reason why I went with that is because, like I said, Lourdes was...
And you threw away the pack.
And I did throw away the pack. Yeah. And Lourdes was my partner in this. I realized that what I was arguing about was that I was going to continue a habit that I knew full well was not good for me. And I just needed Lourdes to kick me in the pants to make me realize this is stupid. I'm actually fighting with my wife about
something unhealthy,
something that's really harming me, and I know it. And so she was right and I was wrong.
But you did something though. But he took it upon himself to go, what can I do to replace this?
I do.
And you started eating a bag of
Sunflower seeds.
sunflower seeds. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I started. I got addicted to sunflower seeds for a while, and then I would go
But
through
you know
sunflower
what?
seed withdrawal.
Because you know, even in my thing that I'm doing, 3-session with the ebook that I have,
Yeah.
one of the things I talk about is the seeds and
Yep.
the importance of them.
Well, so I'm just saying,
So it's healthy.
you need a partner. You need somebody who's there, friend, family, mom, dad, a significant other,
Yep.
to kick you in the pants,
Coworker.
co-host, to kick you in the pants every now and then to keep you on track. But the more I have found that the more people that you get in on what you're up to, the easier it is for people around you to keep you honest. So tell everybody.
Yeah, post it on social media. This is what I'm going to do, and then share what you're doing each day. I mean, you'll be amazed how even that'll propel you.
Right, and the support that you're going to find, and the inspiration you're giving to others.
Yeah.
So look for the sweet spot with your resolution. So what we mean is it's doable, it's plannable, it's
well, it's
achievable.
like let's say, using like for instance a number, just an example. I'm going to do 10 of these things, but 10 is too much for you, and 1 is like not even doing it at all. So you go into the middle swiss spot of 5.
Yeah,
I'm going to do 5 of those.
Yeah, find the sweet spot for that resolution. Don't make it so easy that, because then it becomes too easy to just let it go. It's just like I'll sleep an extra 5 minutes a day, and
it's like okay.
But also don't make it to where like I will strictly sleep 10 hours a night. Probably might be better for you, but if you can't get there, find your sweet spot. And then the other thing is what we call what we have termed, this is our term now, the growing resolution. And what that is we encourage you to do the growing resolution, which means that I'm going to exercise half an hour every day, or 20 minutes every day, or whatever it is.
Even if it's 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's still something you did before.
Seriously, just do 5 minutes. Because at the end, and this is the timetable and planning thing, at the end of 1 month, when you're like, man, I can knock out 5 minutes like nothing.
Yep.
Then grow your resolution.
Yep.
It's called a growing resolution. And the reason why we bring it up is because Lourdes is out there with her resolution to make things better for people, and actually your design is a lot like what we're talking about. You're introducing kind of one thing first, and then I'll let you take it.
Well, and that's the thing too. And it's so important that when you do achieve one thing, or part of that one thing, or even if it's like half of what you wanted to do, still acknowledge that and think yourself this, like, you know what, I did that. Like, before I wouldn't have done it at all. This time I did at least part of it.
Yeah.
So you still want to acknowledge at anything that you've done and you achieved it, acknowledge yourself and notice, I did that.
Now, if you're dieting, don't reward yourself with a big old chocolate cake.
Well, because then that's, you can actually look at them and go, you know what, I did that.
Yep.
Now I'm going to have myself a nice glass of water because I can do that too. But, just like, and so that was one of the things for my resolution, is to really get, because I've always wanted to help people. And then I couldn't figure out why. And then I learned why. And then I got it had to do with health. And then, then we did the documentary. Then we did our book. And then we,
the show here.
Yeah, and then we're doing the show. And it's like, but I'm like, but how can I take it to another level, but structurally and organized in a way where it helps not just me achieve my resolution, which is to get the world healthy, but it also helps them, the person I'm working one-on-one with, to get to that level, but in a way where it's easy. So I just started putting things together, and I'm like, okay, they're going to need a recipe book, because a lot of times we can go, just eat healthy, get the bad stuff out,
right.
Drink more water and teas. And so it's like, no, how about if I break it down to the moment they wake up, what they're doing, what they're drinking, what they're eating, what they're having for breakfast, what they're having for lunch, what they're having for dinner, break down not just the ingredients, but all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and what it does for each ingredient. If you're having a certain vegetable or whatever, I share not only in that recipe of the ingredients, what that vegetable does for you, whether it's for the heart or for the mind or for the brain or for your eyesight or for your joints. So I'm sharing this information because I thought how important it would be for someone to, every time you're eating, because it really is important that when we're eating, we eat in a way where we know we're nourishing our bodies. But wouldn't it be amazing that as you're eating, nourishing your body, knowing you're nourishing your body, but to the extent of how you're nourishing your body. Like, I'm eating this, I'm fixing my eyes.
No.
This is taking care of my bones. So that was my resolution.
Well, the other thing too that's so amazing about what you're offering, folks, and to learn more about that, you can go to the LourdesChris.com. Lourdes is offering sessions with the ebook and personal coaching to get you on track. But what's amazing about what you've done is that you've done, I don't know, I used to go swimming in the ocean out here Pacific when I was a kid. It's super cold all year round. You don't,
no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. If you kind of slowly work your way in there, pretty soon you're just in the ocean and it doesn't bother you anymore that it's cold.
Or you can't even tell anymore.
You can't even tell anymore. And your program is very much the same way. It's kind of like slowly, kind of dipping my toe in there, getting a little bit more, and then by the time I'm swimming full on, by the time people are swimming full on, they're being healthier, and it doesn't feel like such a jarring, such a crash.
No, I did it in a way where because even with the juices, I wanted to make sure it's like, you just have to juice this one
right,
thing.
Right. Exactly.
You just have to juice these two things together. And, so it was just kind of building up between all those things. They still have like, what they're having. Because a lot of times I've had many people tell me, they just don't like, okay, I'm just gonna keep eating salads. But how do you have all these different delicious hearty salads?
That's true.
And then what it's doing for every part of your body. So that's what I started creating together was those things, and not just salads. So it's this all these things that I put together that I figure would help. If you're dealing with weight issues, this is going to get you in the right place. If you're going, I don't have any weight issues, again, it's still going to do the right thing, because all it's going to do is get rid of any inflammation. And if you're thinning out because there's something going on, but if you're balanced, it's going to get you right where you need to be. So I set it up so it really works with those things. If you got heart issues, cholesterol issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, all these things. So I did it in a way where it helps everybody. It didn't matter what part of the issue you have.
Yeah, so go to the LourdesChris.com, and so you can sign up for that with Lourdes.
Me,
and by the way, I can personally attest to you. She's a heck of a coach. I told you about the story where she kicked me in the pants when it came to the filter thing. She probably won't be that rough with you, but I had it coming. So yeah, sign up for that. And in fact, if you go to LourdesChris.com, also sign up for the newsletter and to the email, subscribe to the email, because we're going to be sending out a questionnaire here in the next couple of weeks. We have an event coming up here in May. You'll know more about that event on LourdesChrisShow.com as well. But we're partnering with our good friend, Dr. Grant, who's our in-house doctor of the quantum field. And we're doing an event. And so the questionnaire is to try to make sure that we get it streamlined and to the point for what people are really interested in.
Yeah, because we really want to make sure that you guys get the best out of it. We don't want to be all over the place. We want to make sure that we're like narrowing in and really answering everyone's questions, so that when they're done watching this, they go home, or they may be already home, but they're going to get everything out of it in their life.
Exactly right. So that's the LourdesChrisShow.com, and you can also follow us on social media. We're on I think all the platforms.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, which we're not really heavy on the TikTok.
We need to get, that's one of our resolutions was to get heavier on the TikTok.
Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, I might have said Instagram already, but so we're on those.
Yeah, we're on all those. So follow us there. And, as always, you can catch our show every week at Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when it drops. We're on Facebook when we can. We're on YouTube when we can. But we're always on Rumble. And then afterwards, you can always catch us on the LourdesChrisShow.com.
Yes. So don't forget to go there and to subscribe. Share, subscribe, and click on these things. And I mean, really, you don't know who needs to know the thing you know.
Exactly. That's what Lourdes and Chris Show says all the time. You don't know who needs to know that thing that you know, and it's our motto, and that's what we carry forward with us. So we'll see you again in about a week. We see you. We thank you for joining us every week. And, we absolutely love you. And that's why we're doing. We love people, and we love the world, and we want the world to be a better place. And that's what we're all about.
Yes.